Hey, thanks for watching today's Drawing for Kids class. This class is offered as a partnership between the Ann Arbor District Library and the Ann Arbor Art Center. Today we're going to be drawing some anime eyes, and so these will be really stylized. I recommend grabbing a pencil, a piece of paper, as well as some colored pencils or something for some coloring if you choose to add color. So one of the things that's fun about anime eyes is that the shapes are a little unique, so they're very exaggerated. So here I'm going to start with more of an oval kind of shape here, so you can see a very light sketch that I'm drawing in, and then I'm going to draw this kind of unique shape up above and go ahead and shade that in black. Remember that you can pause the video so that you can take your time in getting all of these done. I want us to draw 4 eyes today, but I'm only going to show you 3. I want that last eye that you draw to be something more unique. Maybe try just doing some experimenting, a combination of a few of the eyes that I'm showing you. So notice what I'm doing inside the eye now. So what I'm actually doing is sketching out kind of the pupil kind of space as well as some highlights. It's a little confusing, so that's why I'm not going into too much detail here as I'm sketching this, because I think it's important for you to really see what it looks like once it's shaded in so that it's easier to understand. Basic shapes and stuff can be super confusing until you really see what it looks like in full. So you can see the way I've shaded in the top part of the eye as well as the middle inner circle or inner oval, I should say. And then I'm doing some light shading around inside that outer edges of that bottom area there so that the center part is more highlighted. Okay, now I'll color that later, but let's go ahead and jump into another eye. So here, this one is going to look a little bit more normal. I'm kind of going for that somewhat of a lemon shape, but notice how I haven't connected it in the corners of the eye. I really am just showing the top and the bottom eyelid, and then I am going for a more round, slightly oval, once again, of a shape here for the iris, which is the colored part of the eye. I've kind of outlined where that pupil is, as well as that highlight. I always like to recommend to draw those highlights a little bit larger than what you actually want it to be, because chances are when you're shading, you might cover up some of it. You can also see the way that I'm going in with some eyelashes here, and I'm pressing down hard. I'm going back over it several times, so it's not just a simple line. Right? You can see where it's thicker as it attaches to that eyelid, and then it gradually kind of gets thinner and thinner. They're almost like elongated triangles. Okay, the next thing I'm doing is adding in some texture, some little detail within the iris, within that colored part of the eye. So you can see me working, I'm using really the side of my pencil here to make a really gentle, smoother, not really smoother, but kind of smoother, softer look. It's not really a harsh line, but I am kind of doing these going, around that iris and that center area. Okay, so now I've shaded in the pupil. I've added in some extra little highlight shapes here. So as I fill in the colored part of the eye, I will start, filling that in, but going around those highlights. Notice I've added in a little star just for fun. You can really have some freedom here with how you want to do the highlight shapes. So then you can see the way I'm kind of adjusting that and erasing some of it too. But again, I've got it darker at the top because the eyelashes would be casting a bit of a shadow. And then even though I didn't actually draw the corners of the eye, I still want to add a little bit of shading into those corners to show the depth there. All right, so my last one I'm going to do, this one I will go ahead and add color. You can always go back and add color to the other ones as well if you wish. So this one, we have that oval again for our kind of eye color and pupil. And then look at this really angular shape here. Very different. Notice I'm doing some shading in the center so that it's a little bit more highlighted. If you filled that in all the way, use your eraser to pull out that highlight. Your eraser can get that smudged kind of look if you like that almost airbrushed look that smudging can do. If you're also really interested in smudging with a pencil, I recommend using a paper or some other kind of tool to do that smudging rather than smudging with your finger, okay? Now, I'm doing this digitally, so I've got kind of some fun little smudging tools. Obviously, I can't just rub my finger over my screen. It won't do anything. anything other than click buttons. So anyway, so just keep that in mind. Once again, here you can see the way I've just added in some fun highlight shapes, and now I'm starting to layer in the colors. So if you're using colored pencils, I really recommend, you know, don't press down super hard. Think of it kind of like if you think of lightly coloring, medium coloring, and heavy like pressure, like really pressing down hard. Think of it as kind of a medium, but then at the very end, I want you to press down really hard. So notice once again, I've got that light at the bottom, middle kind of colors in the middle there, medium colors in the middle, and then darker towards the top. Okay, and that's gonna give you a more kind of realistic, like naturalistic look but still with that, you know, anime kind of style where it's very exaggerated and really bright colors. Okay, notice again, I've kind of shaded the whites of the eye, even though I haven't even drawn that line kind of going around it. Okay, so it's up to you how much you want to really smooth that out. So again, my challenge for you is to do a fourth eye so that you have a total of 4 eyes. You can do some kind of combination of all 3 of these or invent your own based on some of the different techniques. Think about your highlights, shapes, and just the shading. Notice again how all of these are darker towards the top and then they transition into a more, you know, more lighter kind of color or value. So I hope you have fun with this, and I hope that you'll tune in with us next week.